Well, it's that time of the month again where we get to talk about the brand new VR games coming out in October. And this is shaping up to actually be one of those months that's actually solid for VR games. We've got a ton of awesome things coming out, from like AAA titles all the way down to some cool little indie games that I think you guys should be aware of. But of course, as always, guys, do me one small favour, and that is smash that like button and subscribe if you are new, because I know a ton of you watch these videos without subscribing, and I'm watching you. It would be nice if you would take the time today to make the change. Hit that subscribe button, tap the notifications on, why not? Go all out. Anyway, let's dive into our very first game on this list. Kicking things off, we have Star Wars Beyond Victory. Now, this actually drops today for Quest 3. It's a new mixed reality title that's sort of blending a bit of VR in it as well, and this is going to be one where you're going to be doing pod racing on your table, as well as playing around with some cool models that are in the game. So the more that you unlock in the game, you can have like an actual life-size R2-D2 sat in your room with you in mixed reality. That's probably the side of things that I'm most excited about with this. I'm not sure I'm too convinced on pod racing on a tiny little square. I would way rather this has been a full VR game, but nonetheless, this is going to be coming out literally, like I say, today, so you can get your hands on this right now if you want to give it a go for yourself. Don't forget, with all Quest games, you do actually get a refund policy, so if you try this, you don't like it, you can always refund it. Next up, we have Super RC. If you've ever loved remote control cars, well, this game is VR's answer. You'll be building and customizing your own 1/5 scale race cars, and then there'll be about 3 hours worth of sort of solo race content, plus track editors, sandbox modes, and online multiplayer for up to 8 players. This is a cool feature for mixed reality as well, where you get to create your own tracks in your physical space, then race them in VR. So it's a crossover between sort of like, you know, mixed reality and virtual reality again, but it actually looks pretty dope. Next up, we have Memoreum. This is a brand new sci-fi horror title coming out this month, and honestly, I think this is going to be a really good one. I actually tried this at Gamescom earlier this year, and well, I enjoyed it then. They've had a lot of time to continue to work on this, and I know they have worked really hard to make this game freaking dope. This one's going to be kind of like about being on a spaceship and infection, and then some bad stuff happens, strange voices, mysterious things are going to unveil. What stands out really a lot for this one for me is it's sort of like that immersive controls that brings you into the game, that physical sort of manipulation of devices, scanning elements, piecing together clues, and then of course that horror atmosphere and jump scares that are going to keep that sort of creepy tension going throughout the entire game, as well as it being a really cool, well developed game. I just think this one all round is going to have just that enough of horror to not make people like me scared to play it, but also just enough of everything else to keep this an interesting and awesome experience. Next up, we have Ranger. Now, this one is a rhythm combat game with a bit of a twist. I kind of like the look of this one personally. I actually spoke about this the other week. You're going to be slicing, dodging, attacking, all to the time of a beat, while taking on a bunch of different music tracks. And the different energy that you get from the tracks is what is going to sort of like go through to what you're going to be fighting in the game. It's kind of like a Pistol Whip-esque / Superhot-esque type game. But actually, like I say, this one caught my eye, and I do think this one looks pretty interesting, so I'm looking forward to giving it a go myself. Next, we have Scared by Squares. Well, yeah, you're probably thinking to yourself, that sounds stupid, but it actually isn't. I've tried the demo for this one, and I've got to say, this one is really cool. Now, you shouldn't be scared by a square, yet somehow this game does actually do some pretty insane stuff inside of it to twist and make the world around you just like this insane experience. It's not only just that, but it's also visually a really pretty game as well. It's going to be coming out for Quest and PCVR, but I definitely reckon you should give it a go. I don't want to say too much. Like I say, if you haven't tried the demo for this, you're in for an absolute treat. I actually really enjoyed this game, so definitely want to recommend. Next, we have Dreams of Another. Now, this one leans more into sort of like an emotional, leaning into sort of like more, I don't know, mental health sort of issues and stuff like that, as well as like an atmospheric narrative where you're essentially destroying to create with inside of the game. Unfortunately, I've already heard some pretty bad things about this game and its VR port, so yeah, I don't know, maybe watch some reviews on this one before you pick it up for yourself, especially as you PSVR 2 people don't get any refunds. So I definitely would suggest you check out at least a couple of reviews on this first before you make up your mind as to whether this is going to be for you or not. Personally, I think this is probably going to be a bit of a skip for me. Next, we have probably one of the biggest games coming out this month, and that is Reach. Now, Reach is definitely one that I think everyone should be excited for. This game so far has really showed a ton of promise. As you've seen on the channel a couple of weeks back, I actually got a chance to review some gameplay of this, actually getting to jump into it, doing around 45 minutes for myself, and it blew my friggin' mind. I really enjoyed so far what I've played of it. Of course, as always with stuff like this, just wait for the reviews to see the full game and make sure that the complete thing actually holds up to what you're expecting. But this one is definitely going to be one of those explosive games where you're going to get into there, you're an action hero feeling, you're going to be running through glass panes, you're going to be doing some incredible crazy sci-fi stuff as well as having an incredible bow, giant environments to be able to explore, and a massively awesome story that's going to sort of draw you in throughout the entire experience. I'm very, very excited for this one, but like I say, as always, hold on for those reviews before you hit the purchase button, just in case the rest of the game doesn't quite deliver as well as the small snippet that I've got to play so far. Next up, we have Trenches VR. Well, this one is looking really cool. This is a tactical shooter across trenches with this sort of atmospheric sort of horror that is going to be taking over this one. I do think this one is going to be bloody terrifying, to say the absolute least, as I think every time you turn a corner in this trench, you are going to wonder whether you're going to die, possibly even in real life, from an actual heart attack. So I'm very, very, very excited to try this one out, because I think it's going to terrify me. I'm awful with horror games, but this one's definitely piqued my interest. So any of you real horror connoisseurs out there are probably going to absolutely friggin' love this game. Next, we have Arken Age also making its way out to the Quest this month. I'm stupidly excited for this to hit the Quest. Now, I have tried this and I have spoken about this in the past, saying just how incredible of a port this actually is to the Quest. It's already been out for a while now on PSVR 2 and PCVR, and now making it sort of complete set by making its way to Quest as well is an incredible moment. I actually think this has contender of being potential game of the year, so I really, really hope that everyone else finds it just as awesome as I did. This one is all about those incredibly beautiful open worlds, well, open-ish worlds, where you're going to be doing a bunch of awesome stuff. I love this game so much. I highly recommend you look into this. There's already a ton of content out there for this game, just to get you hyped for when this does drop this month. Next up, we have House of Golf VR. This one is a mixed reality game where you're able to turn any of your rooms into a little mini golf course, with some sort of fun exceptions, from, you know, spinning ketchup bottles to be able to do some wacky stuff. Kind of reminds me of like Micro Machine games from back in the day, where you'd have all these odd household items that would sort of become the course. Well, this one's very much the same. So envisage sort of crazy golf taken to the next level of crazy, also being in mixed reality. I actually think this one could quite, you know, be worth playing in mixed reality, as it adds an element to it, being able to play into your own space, and of course just enjoy converting your room into something cool. Next, we have Little Planet. Now, this is actually a really unique looking game that I think is probably going to do quite well. It's going to be free to play, and it's one of those ones that's just going to be quite a cutesy game. So imagine something like Animal Crossing, but actually in VR, and you're not going to be too far off when it comes to this game. I'm actually pretty excited for this, because I kind of like me a bit of Animal Planet, so if it does translate well to VR, then I think this could be a really fun, sort of chill, super relaxing game to jump into, and of course, you know, socialize a little bit as well. Next, we have Zero Caliber 2 making its way to PCVR, with of course this enhanced graphics and everything else they've been promising along the side of this. This is the sequel to the VR FPS, revamped, overhauled visuals, and of course new challenging sort of AI and all these other things they promised for the game to be coming into it as well. So if you've been holding off onto this one because you wanted that higher end experience and you have a PC that is capable of running this, then I highly recommend you give this a go. The base game for this was already pretty friggin' solid, but the fact that this is now going to be jazzed up and made even more beautiful for PC, then I think this is definitely an opportunity to jump in and experience this. And last but not least, we have Project Freefall. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this one I'm actually pretty disappointed in the studio that's made this. This is coming from Shell Games, and it's a game all about basically jumping out of a plane. You have to race to tag to be able to grab the parachute, and then whoever gets the parachute at the very end of this, I guess, gets to survive and therefore is the winner. The reason I say I'm actually disappointed in this is this is quite heavily made with AI, and they've been fairly open about talking about the fact that they use a ton of AI in this project. I really just think that's kind of missing the mark, and in fact, actually just looking at the trailer itself, you kind of get that feeling from sort of janky animations, janky looking sort of design, and really even a bit of a janky looking type game. I'm really blown away that a studio that I personally truly friggin' love, I mean, they've brought us games like I Expect You to Die and so many other awesome titles at this point. It blows my mind that we have studios this big now leaning into using AI to be able to produce a game when they have legitimately tons of talent around them that could have made this game 100 times better. better. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go into this debate too heavily. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that in the comments down below. I'm sure everyone's got a bit of an opinion on this. Other than that though, guys, that is the month that we have ahead of us. Of course, as always, there will be some surprise drops that will come alongside this month, and I know of a couple to be excited for, so just hold on for those. Of course, I do my Friday roundup videos every week as well, and when I do that, I'll keep you informed of any other new titles that are announced across this month. Other than that, guys, if you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe if you are new, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out, bye.